Greetings everyone! Not long ago I released a video showcasing the benefits of using paper miniatures in wargaming. I'll put a link on the screen and or in the description in the video below. I got a ton of views and positive comments on the video, plus a lot of requests for a tutorial on how I build my miniatures. I received questions about both the character/unit miniatures and the terrain like houses and trees. In order to not make this video too long or complicated, this video will focus on just the character/unit miniatures, and hopefully I will tackle the terrain in another video down the road. First I will show you two of my favorite places where I find files to download for my paper miniatures, and then I'll show you how I build them in different skill levels. Let's get to work. Okay, so I have two different games that I'm going to need paper miniatures for soon. One is the Age of Fantasy Quest by One Page Rules, and the other is Grimdark Future Firefight by One Page Rules. The Age of Fantasy Quest is for a personal game, and the Firefight is for a possible future battle report coming out soon. If you have subscribed to the Patreon of One Page Rules, you could have received a special narrative campaign for Age of Fantasy Quest called Out of the Shadows. In Mission 1, it has up to 6 fleeing villagers as special characters that I will need to protect from the enemy. I have the 3D models for both the heroes and the enemies, but I do not have random villager models just laying around. And I don't feel like spending time and money on 3D printing villagers just for one narrative campaign, so we're going to go find some 2D paper miniatures. Let's head over to my first favorite 2D miniature website, printableheroes.com. I'll put a link in the description. So here's the website. This is very handy if you're into D&D and such. Also, I think it will come in handy for Age of Fantasy Quest. You can become a Patreon member and log in right here on the right. There are many different levels that offer different color combinations and file types for each character/download. And I think if you're not too picky, there is quite a bit of free stuff. There are a lot of cool ways that you can narrow down your search. I like to click on RPG resources, and then check out the monster manual, or the player's handbook. And then you can define your search even more by type. Let's reset the filters and just type in NPC in the search bar. Here we already have a merchant, a townsfolk lady, and a barkeeper, and some blacksmiths. Let's grab a barkeeper. Here on the right, we will just download a free PDF. The PDFs are fun and responsive, so before you print, you'll need to click on these areas and first select a style that you want for each character. We will go with the dark skin with the blue pants. The actual image has the base built in, but there are also some cool options that you can modify the base and put on different colors if needed. Notice that the free PDF does not have the backside of the character. If you become a paid member, you can also download a PDF that has the front and back of each character, and also some different color options. The Printable Heroes website also has a cool PDF creator, which is useful if you want to combine a few different characters on one sheet and save on paper. Okay, so here is the page that is printed out. Currently I am using the Epson ET2800 series printer, which is working great for me. I put an Amazon affiliate link in the video's description below. I printed out a lot lately just doing random hobby stuff, and I'm a fan of the super tanks, which you can just fill up with ink. This is just plain old copy paper, which is just 20 pounds in weight, and I will use this first just to show you the simplest way to get into wargaming. Go ahead and cut the figure out along with the square. Don't even bother cutting in and trying to get in close with the figure with this version. This is going to be the easy, simple version. So we're just going to use the box. You have a line right here that's going to show how the figure folds. I like to kind of ignore that at first and make sure you have the base just lined up and straight here at the bottom. You'll know you're good when this line right here matches each side. And then when you get there, then you commit to the fold. just because I'm more concerned about how the base folds than I am the top. And where this line falls, which looks like we're in pretty good shape anyway. I'm just going to use some cheap clear tape. Just hit each side. And then I'm going to use a straight edge. Put along this line for the base. Flip the first side up first. Flip it. Boom, you have your very first paper miniature. You can also take a miniature, fold the base in the opposite direction, and do like a tent card. It's a little bit harder to get straight and tape, but it adds a little bit of dimension to it. Also, you know, be sure to spend a little bit more time than I am doing this. But like I said, it adds a little bit of dimension, but I think these are obviously a little bit more sturdier. You can plop that around. And this guy easily falls over. But yeah, my son and I use this version right here to play our first game of Grimdark Future, and we had a good time. With level 2, we're going to use a 65-pound cardstock. This paper is going to be a little bit thicker, so the miniature is going to be sturdier. And you know, they're nice and thick, but it's just thin enough that it would run through most printers. So if you see my battle reports and stuff lately, this is where 90% of my models are printed on. This is 65-pound cardstock. To find some new models to download, we are going to go to onepagerules.com, hover over Shop, and then in the drop-down menu, click on Rulebooks/Paper Minis. There you will be directed to the One Page Rules section of DriveThruRPG.com, and then you can find free collections of armies for strategy war games. Okay, so here we are. We have some Robot Legion warriors. Go ahead and do the same thing we did with the last model, and just follow the lines, the box line. We are going to go in closer to the character. We'll cut in closer to it later, but for now we need these nice lines to go by, to use as guides. Okay, the same thing. Fold it over. Try to get the bottom squared up first. Make sure those lines match. Then commit to the fold. That way it folds nice and straight. Then take the straight edge again. Let's fold back our bases. Apologize if my camera is really shaky. The camera holder is not the sturdiest thing, and usually I'm just painting and not, you know, using rulers and beating stuff around. Okay, so there's a model so far on cardstock. Looks pretty good. Now what you're going to want to do is take a spray adhesive. I use this 3M Super 77. I think it's my favorite. I'm not going to do this here because obviously it'll be in front of everything, and I want to go outside and do it somewhere ventilated, and it's dark outside, so I'm not going to take the camera with me, so I'm just going to show you. What I do is, like, you know, the model looks like this. You open it up and make sure these bases are folded back like that, so the glue won't get on it. And then you just take your spray and get up pretty close and just try to hit one side with it. It's okay if it gets that down here, but you can pretty much hit one side without even getting spray on your finger. If it does, it's not that big a deal. And once you do that, when you put the model back together, make sure these things go, the base goes back straight like that, and then squeeze. Okay, you probably can't see the glue like I can, but I did just spray it, and I got this side right here. Didn't really get much on this side. And since this is folded over, there is no glue right here. And what I'm going to do is fold back over and make sure this edge right here goes straight across. Pretty much like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want it to be uneven. And that way, see, it's pretty much glued now. That way it stands up pretty straight and even. Okay, this part I zoomed out on the camera so you can see a little bit more of my workstation. Sorry I didn't do that before. But here's a tape gun, a packaging tape gun. Flip it upside down like that. Take my miniature. Cut it, the tape, and then a lot of times you don't have enough tape to do the base and the miniature, so I just line this tape up with the line for the base and don't even worry about the base. I just tape that down, and I flip it, do the same thing. Line it up. Boom. Now you have a model that's basically protected. And then you go and start cutting. I don't ever go that close to the figure. If you look at my battle reports, you'll notice that. There are some other people you can find on YouTube. They get on in there, and it looks really good, but I'm just like, it's a paper miniature, so I'm just trying to have fun and get them knocked out. There we go. You could leave the base like that, or what I like to do is kind of do a 45-degree angle. You can cut that down a little bit if you wanted to, but there. Paper miniature. And then you can, if you want to put it up, you just fold it up, stick that in a baseball card holder sleeve. You're good to go. Alright, so let's check out some finished product. Here are the 2D villagers that I'm going to be using for Age of Fantasy Quest, mixed in with the 3D printed miniatures. And here are two armies, 2D printed, for a Firefight battle report that's coming out soon. It will be the Eternal Dynasty versus the Robot Legions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's super helpful for you. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys on the next adventure.